I'm Felicia,
And I'm Ian.
and we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys,
Hey, guys.
thanks for joining us for another week, episode 112.
Yep.
Yay. Let's go ahead and get the business out of the way. Excuse me. Thanks for coming back after we've been out for 2 weeks sick, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry if we're still snotty and coffee. Parvo's weird.
Yeah.
Not the dog kind. It's fine. To the business. We are going to be at Haywood Pride on June 28th.
Come check us out.
It's the second Pride for our county. We'll be there with shirts and stickers, so you guys come check us out. Also, my job, within reach, we'll have a pop-up shop. Think of us as like a secondhand boutique store. It's going to be all Pride stuff. You guys come out and check them out too.
For sure.
If you're interested in learning the history that is currently being erased, give our show Rethinking Our History a listen. If you're curious about knowing about the new Nazi religion, it's coming back with a vengeance. You should go listen to the last episode we released, because wow.
Thule Society.
Thule Society. It was not just a fun society. I thought it was dead from the Nazi times. Like, they made me think in Supernatural.
Yeah.
I guess in Supernatural, they were like, hey, you guys should pay attention. They're still around.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah. If you would please be so kind, give us a follow and share on social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We also have videos of both shows on YouTube. To find us on any of these platforms, just search for the Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you would please be so kind, or if you would like to support the making of these shows, we have a couple ways you can do so. First, we have our merch shop over at theparanormallovers.threadless.com. We have a sale coming up, so be on the lookout for that. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/paranormallovers, where for $5 a month, you get early access to unedited videos of both shows, as well as stickers and other swag. Finally, if you have a personal story, be it true crime, paranormal, or historical, or you have a topic request, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. What did you love about this week, Bill?
I've been winning at my cornhole tournament.
I'm proud of you for that. It's insane. You're just
like,
I'll just play some cornhole, and now you're like in the championship.
Yeah. Well, we're like two games away, and then I'll be in the championship.
That's crazy.
My workplace does a cornhole tournament every year. If you don't know what cornhole is, it's kind of like horseshoes, except with bean bags.
And a wooden board.
And a wooden board with a hole in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about 2 games away from being in the championship at work. And if I win, I get to go to me and my partner and Felicia, because I told her I'd fly her out there. But if we win, we get to go to Chicago to the headquarters of the place that I work and play a cornhole tournament there. So,
but what about Chicago?
Yeah.
What about it? They got a pope.
Yeah.
Ayo.
So I hope I win. It's been fun playing. So what did you love about this week, baby?
I love that I refound Hostile Government Takeover.
Yeah.
On my Spotify playlist, and I've been like jamming out to that shit every day. We're in the middle of a hostile government takeover. I want to talk about it, but I'll be late for work. And then it's all like, but what are we going to do about this? Well, we had one, but you didn't want that lady in office. Motherfuckers. I don't know. I have to like the small things, because I am ready to burn this fucking world to the ground and just start from scratch. Like, hello, take me and my family as tribute. Let's start over.
Yeah.
Let's start over. This human population, half of it is trash, and the other half ain't working hard enough to take out the trash.
Yep.
So, and there's part of that other half that we ain't doing the damn work, because we've been trying to take out the trash. Everybody just let that shit overflow into the flow, and we ain't doing it no more.
Yeah.
So y'all have fun taking that trash out. All right. So this week we are going to finally cover a topic I'm sure many of our fans have been waiting on. It has taken me so long to cover this cryptid because it feels very intimidating
Mm-hmm.
due to its popularity. So over 100 episodes later, today we are going to look at the story of Mothman.
Yeah.
Mothman.
Nice.
Imagine this. 1966. You're a gravedigger out in the middle of the night with a few of your coworkers opening a grave.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, maybe you hear a noise or you notice a strange shadow crossing over the ground. But you stop your digging and look up. When you do, maybe you think it's a trick of light or lack of light
Right.
as you see a dark shape seeming to jump from tree to tree. But you are not alone, and you and all of your coworkers agree that it is a brown human-looking creature.
Predator.
This is
That's
allegedly...
what I would think, anyways.
That's exactly what me now.
I'd be waiting for
Like
it to
Mothman,
go.
This is what allegedly happened on November 12th, 1966 in Clendenin, sorry guys, West Virginia.
This would like, get to the chopper.
This would be the first, but definitely not the last reported sighting of the beloved cryptid known as Mothman.
Wow.
Full disclosure up front, I am hella biased about Mothman. Okay. Ever since somebody called him like the Zaddy of cryptids, I cannot see him as an evil entity. Okay.
Right.
Let us know in the comments, Apple, Spotify, socials, YouTube, whatever, what you think about Mothman. But I'm just throwing it out there. I love Mothman.
Right.
And I think he's fucking great.
So there was that one episode that I did that the alien dudes were thinking that he was evil, but
I'll get there.
Okay.
The most common physical description of Mothman is, quote, a bird-like beast that stands 7 feet tall, has a wingspan of 10 feet, and can fly as fast as 100 miles per hour, end quote.
Wow.
And while there is minor variations in the size or color of the creature, one thing remains the same across all reports across the globe: glowing red eyes. Now, I like to think I'm a pretty rational person most of the time. Listen, I know that, like I just said, I believe in Mothman. Whatever. I am hella rational. But, like, I don't think the photos of Nessie are real. And of all the creatures we've learned about, humans are the most evil, you know?
Yeah.
But when you have so many reports of a single creature, not just so many in one area, but across the world, we can't call them all crazy, can we? And then I say that, then think about how many people voted for the current president, and yeah, I guess you can. But just 4 days after the gravediggers saw something in the trees, 2 couples were hanging out in a car when they had their own experience with this creature. Steve and Mary Millette and Roger and Linda Scarberry were sitting in a car in the TNT area. This is a former World War II munitions site with an old power plant, National Guard armory buildings, and a coal field. The couples claimed they saw the creature walking around the site 3 different times before they decided they had seen enough and left. But when they tried to leave, it followed them. Quote, we went downtown, turned around, and went back, and there it was, Millette said. It seemed to be waiting on us. He said the light gray alien then scurried through a field, end quote. They also claimed that while the creature was a clumsy runner, it could fly extremely fast. They said at one point they were driving over 100 miles per hour and the creature kept pace with them with ease.
Jeez.
But they also said that it seemed that it wanted to avoid the light. It was when they hit it with their headlights that the creature ran off into the field. This was the first of a flood of reported sightings of Mothman to happen over the next few days. In just the 3 days after this, there were 8 reported sightings of Mothman.
Wow.
In that area. 2 of the reports came from volunteer firefighters who claimed they saw, quote, a very large bird with large red eyes, end quote. Another notable sighting came from Newell Partridge in Salem, West Virginia. According to Newell, he was watching TV when strange symbols began appearing on the screen. Then he heard a strange noise that drew his attention outside. He claims that he grabbed a flashlight, and when he turned it towards the sound, he saw 2 red glowing eyes staring back at him. Then his dog, a German Shepherd, took off after the creature, and he never saw it again. There are more reports of Mothman throughout the next year leading up to December 15th, 1967. It is said that early that morning, Mothman was either seen on or over the Silver Bridge. This bridge was built in 1928 to connect Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio. On this morning, traffic was backed up with travelers, many of them out Christmas shopping. This bridge was built during a time when cars weighed no more than 1,500 pounds and was not built with any of the fail-safes that bridges have today, meaning if one section of the bridge was to fail, it would likely take the rest of it with it. And it would be on this day that one single eye bar on the top of the bridge would crack apart. This failure caused the chain to snap, and piece by piece, the Silver Bridge collapsed into the icy cold Ohio River. 46 people lost their lives that day.
Wow.
And it is not the only disaster Mothman has been cited before. From the 1999 Russian apartment bombings to 9/11, the 2009 Mexico swine flu outbreak, and the 2011 Fukushima disaster, there have been reports of Mothman appearing over or close to each of these sites. He's like, this one, no go, bad, y'all stay away. People don't listen.
Right.
Although sightings dwindled in Point Pleasant after the bridge collapse, it was not the end of the weirdness for the residents. According to Mary Heyer, a reporter for the Athens Messenger, one night in January 1967, just 2 months after the first sighting, a man in a black suit made his way into her office and asked for directions. A man in a black suit wearing glasses. Mary claimed as she was giving the man directions, he was moving closer and closer to her. He then began to question her about some of her articles and, quote, why she felt the need to publish such things, end quote. Motherfucker, because I can. That's why.
Freedom of press. Like,
starting to feel uncomfortable, Mary called one of her coworkers into the office with her and the man. While Mary was dealing with a phone call, she notices the man had picked up a pen and was examining it like he had never seen one before. Mary says then, out of nowhere, the man starts laughing and ran out of the office while still holding the pen.
What the hell?
Every time I read that part, it makes me laugh because all I can imagine is just some dude with a he's like running out like Stewart. Look what I can do. You know, it just makes me chuckle.
Right.
I'm like, what? But Mary was not the first to have an experience with men in black in her community or even in her own family. Mary's niece, Connie Carpenter, claimed to have her own experience, not just with the men in black, but with Mothman. On November 27th, 1966, just a few days after the first reported sighting, Connie was driving home when she saw that what she at first thought was a man in a gray suit on the side of the road. But the man-looking creature unfurled its 10-foot wings and took off flying towards her car. Connie claimed that as it flew at her, she locked eyes with its glowing red eyes before it veered off and flew away. Shaken, she drove straight home where her boyfriend was waiting. He said that when she got home, all she could say was those eyes over and over. Just a few days later, she would be diagnosed with Keelig conjunctivitis, pink eye, but caused by prolonged exposure to UV rays. She just looked at Mothman and he burned out her eyeballs.
That's wild.
It's making me think of, who else? What was it?
Laser eyes. Freaking lasers.
Also kind of makes me think of, in Supernatural, how whenever somebody tries to look at an angel that is not within a host, it burns their eyeballs out.
Right.
Because they're just like too brilliant to look at.
Sure.
But that wasn't it for Connie. One day while walking to school, a man in a black car pulled up and motioned her closer. Thinking he was going to ask for directions, she approached the car, only for the man in a black suit to try and throw her inside, ripping her shirt in the process.
What the hell?
She claimed that later that evening, a letter was slipped under the front door of her house that said, quote, "Be careful, girl, I can get you yet," end quote.
What the hell?
I don't know, man.
Men in black.
So what are the theories for what this thing might be? Realistically, realistically, it is probably one of the large bird breeds that call this area home.
Right.
Cranes, herons, even large owl breeds, or some birds that have very large wingspan. Y'all ever seen a vulture stretch
Yeah.
his wings out? I
It's a big
have.
bird.
It covered a 2-lane road. I was like, that's a big fucking wingspan.
Mm-hmm.
But with the men in black sniffing around, I struggle to believe that it's just a bird.
Right.
So what else could we be looking at? Another theory comes from the place it seems to live in, the TNT area. Is it really crazy to think maybe one of those large birds got in some old chemicals and mutated?
Maybe.
We live in an area where some of these rivers might have 3-eyed fish, so I am not going to say that's impossible.
It's true.
Yeah. People are like, what? Yeah. The paper mill, used to dump all its shit out into the Pigeon.
Yeah.
And that flowed into like Richmond Creek and stuff. And yeah, you could get mutated fish.
Yeah.
People didn't eat below the mill. You don't eat fish from below the mill.
Well, the lake that we live by, it's fed by Richland Creek, and Richland Creek has another chemical plant on it
A salt plant.
Well, I'm not going to name them just because, but yeah, it's a Epsom salt plant, and it dumps its stuff into the river.
Yeah.
So you have like 2 different plants that are.
Yeah, so if you guys come up here and you want to go
flowing
fishing,
together.
like you can fish around here, but you don't want to eat it unless you're fishing like high up in the mountains.
Yep. Unless
Go high up in the mountains.
Unless you go up to Sunburst and go trout fishing, you don't want to eat the fish.
Personally, I'm going to say it's alien. During this time in West Virginia, there was another alien that was coming to visit, which Ian covered in episodes 101 and 103, Injured Cold.
Yep.
He was to say that Mothman is not somehow tied to cold in his ship. And I mean just
true.
That cold. I don't mean the other colds. Just that one cold that was like hanging out with dude.
Yeah.
In his truck all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that
the friendly alien.
And that's why I was saying when you were like, oh, well, they were saying that Mothman might be evil. I'm like, no, they're evil. You trying to say Mothman's evil. I'm going to believe you evil because Mothman's just out here trying to save people's lives. Come on now.
Right.
Another common sighting in this area is that of Bigfoot. Like West Virginia literally has a Bigfoot festival and it's in June or July of this year.
Right.
I thought about going, but then I was like, West Virginia, sorry, y'all. I watched Wrong Turn and it fucked with my brain. Okay. I don't like West Virginia.
Yeah.
If you've been here for a while, you know that we are believers of interterrestrial beings, portals to that world, and the guardians of those portals. What if Mothman is yet another species from this interior world?
I'm sure.
One of the
That's my belief in it.
Yeah.
Like that he's just another interdimensional being.
It's one of the most common things most reports of alien encounters have in common is the aliens' concern for the welfare of the planet and humanity.
Yeah.
And Mothman's doing the same thing. It feels like he's trying to warn people.
Sure.
And like Stephen Leslie said, why would they care if they don't live here?
Yeah. It's true.
There's also the colonizer's excuse, a native curse given by Chief Cornstalk.
Oh my God.
A legendary chief of a native nation working to keep white people from stealing more land. There were bloody battles between the natives and colonizers, then a time of peace. Then the British showed up, tried to win the natives to their side. Being a friend, Cornstalk tried to talk to the colonizers, but after a soldier was killed while out on hunt, the native leaders were slaughtered. Before he died, it is said Cornstalk gave this curse, quote, I was the borderman's friend. Many times I have saved him and his people from harm. I never warred with you, only to protect our wigwams and lands. I refused to join your pale-faced enemies with the red coats. I came to the fort as your friend, and you murdered me. You have murdered by my side my young son. For this may the curse of the Great Spirit rest upon this land. May it be blighted by nature. May it even be blighted in its hopes. May the strength of the people be paralyzed by the stain of our blood, end quote. Which, like, listen, goose cam. Straight up.
Right.
Goosebumps. Like, I love a fucking native curse. Fuck them up, bro. Fuck them up. But, like, I don't think that has anything to do with Mothman.
No, it's more likely to do with like
The bridge collapse.
the coal industry.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean,
coal
like,
industry used to be the main thing there, and like now, like people know that coal is bad, and so that industry is just about died out and left whole towns over there just abandoned.
dead.
Yep.
Just dead. And I
Which
think
people putting their faith into coal, then I mean that's what you get, I guess, man. Like,
that's what they had back then.
yeah.
You know, we know
Mhm.
better now, but it was a thing that seemed to work, and
Yep.
it seemed like we had an unlimited resource of it.
Yep.
I don't know, but I don't think that curse has anything to do with Mothman. If anything, maybe the
No.
Silver Bridge collapse.
Maybe.
That is, if you believe that every bad thing happens because of natives and their curses, not every bad thing that happens on this land is their fault.
No.
More likely the fault of the colonizers. Maybe.
Civil engineers.
I don't know. Don't be slaughtering people on their fucking land and it won't be cursed. How about that, eh?
This is true.
Eh? But who is to really say what Mothman is? It's been a while since there have been any reports of Mothman, and in this day and age, if he was still showing up, I think we'd have photos.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a good thing. If he is a warning of disaster, I'm not sure I ever want to see him.
This is true.
So what do you think about Mothman, Bill?
I like Mothman. It's a pretty cool story.
I always thought he was interesting. And I mean, there's some more to it, but that's like the general gist of Mothman.
I kind of believe in him just because of like the sheer number of people that have like reported him.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a bird as well. Like I personally was walking on the train tracks one night and saw something big. I had kind of the same experience. Like I saw the shadow across the ground before I seen anything, and then when I looked up, it was just something big and blurry, and was gone very quickly because it was flying.
Yeah. Which we have cranes and herons and owls and stuff around here too.
I called it the chupacabra back then, but it could have been a big white owl.
Yeah.
Because it was white. So
could have been
an eagle too.
I don't want to see him though. Even though I don't know if you looked up pictures of him. That one statue in West Virginia, he got a real juicy booty. Real juicy booty.
He got abs.
Like
Mothman's got abs.
No, they gave him a big butt.
Yep.
In that statue. And I like want to like squeeze it, but then I'm like, that's like sexual harassment of Mothman, and that makes me feel icky, even though it's a statue.
They got some real cool merch.
I do have some merch. I wouldn't mind doing a Mothman festival.
Mothman cardigan.
Mm-hmm. I want to say actually, a luring podcast. They have Kimmy has like the cutest drawing of Mothman, like little Mothman. He like goes to camp and stuff. Real fucking cute. Cryptid Comforts, they're on Instagram. They're kind of struggling right now because a lot of their products come from overseas. They're getting hit hard with tariffs, small businesses and all that. But I actually got a Mothman Magic 8-ball from them.
That's cool.
Which is that I keep that one on the ancestor altar, and that's the one I like ask ancestors questions with. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, so that, folks, is Mothman. Thanks for joining us for another week.
I should start me a paranormal battle vest.
Hell yeah, you should. That'd be cool as shit. I want a cryptid battle vest.
Do like
just cryptids
and UFOs and
yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
That would be cool.
A bunch of different patches from that.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, we hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.